Welcome back to the FloGrappling Show, aka the worst show on the internet. As always, this show is presented by IM8, the all-in-one formula for fighters, built for performance, trusted for recovery. Use code FLOWSPORTS for 10% off and visit im8health.com/FlowSports to get yours today. As always, I'm Trey Robinson. We got Joey Gilps over there, Big Uncle Reed right there, Daddy Slack Barrett on the ones and twos, and then very special guest, Anna Mayordomo. Everybody give it up for Anna.
Yeah, Anna, thanks for coming in. Hell yeah.
Let's go, Anna. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, you've been on a tear recently. You won the first European trials, all submissions. You then had a match on UFC. BJJ won that one, came back, won Nogi Pans. You've been making quite the waves in the jiu-jitsu community. But thanks for coming on. Glad to have you. How's everything going in your life, I guess?
I mean, competitively, I guess you said it all. Everything's been going really well. I don't think it's quite set in yet. I won Nogi Pans yesterday, and I quite literally took the first flight that I saw could get me home by nighttime. So I just got to sleep at home, and I'm still just like, oh, I guess I did that.
Yeah, I messaged you, and I was like, hey, I'm not sure if or when you're coming back to Austin.
I think I was already on the plane.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm en route right now, and I was like, okay, great. You want to come by our office?
I think I bought Wi-Fi, and I was like, oh, sweet. Oh, this is very convenient.
Yeah, it was convenient. Why don't you like to stick around or anything? You like to just, take care of business, snag a gold, and then get back to your dog and your bed and everything?
Honestly, it's always kind of been an MO of mine, but also, it's been a busy 8 weeks. I don't know how long it's been. Like mid-August was when I left Austin I trained in Vegas for a couple of weeks. I then from Vegas went to Poland, went to Spain to visit my family, then went to New Jersey to train for UFC BJJ because Brianna St. Marie was over there, and we wanted to train together. I stopped in Austin for 2 days because I was like, I need to see my dog, and I need to just be at home for a second. And then UFC BJJ week, and then the weekend at Nogi Pans. So it's been a long like campaign, if you will. So once I kind of got everything out and I celebrated, once the caffeine ran out, I was like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you ever thinking of like maybe not doing Nogi Pans, or like was there ever a step in the process where you're like, this is going to be a little too much, maybe I'm going to, pull up here a little bit, or how did that go?
Yeah, in July, I remember sitting down with a friend that quite literally could be like my American sister, or maybe like based on age, like teen mom is our joke. And I wrote down kind of my comp schedule because I was obviously very overwhelmed by all this and just by the logistics of travel. Nogi Pans was definitely a question mark. I did have the approval. UFC BJJ was amazing with working with me for allowing clearing me for trials, clearing me for IBJJF comps. So they were super gracious about that. But definitely, I guess it was more on the, I guess Pans was a question mark because I was like, man, it's a little risky. Like coming off a win on UFC, obviously I got a lot of attention from it. And then, it is risky to then rock up to a tournament a couple of days later. You're obviously, you travel. It was 2 back-to-back weight cuts. It was, like you're sore from Thursday, even if it's just one match, like the adrenaline hits you. And then you're kind of putting it on the line, if you will, like there's a target on your back. You just got a big win on UFC BJJ. Anyone beats you, they're like, I want in on UFC BJJ, which of course, like there should be a target on my back. So it was a little risky. But I guess I just made the decision to bet on me, and I won. So
yeah, it paid off for sure. So do you do you have emotions around that kind of target on the back thing? Because I think initially it's like you go win trials, all submissions. It's like, all right, that puts you in a class like of its own, like trials winners are kind of in their own category of grapplers almost, and doing it all submissions obviously is like one of the biggest performances of the event. So that garners a lot of attention. Yep. And then, you do a super fight show, get the win. And now it's like, oh man, now I'm going back to Nogi Pans. There's a bunch of sharks in the water, you obviously knew there was a target on your back. How does that like make you feel going into a competition knowing that?
Ooh, I feel like, up until a couple months ago, I would have crumbled with that, or it would have been a 50-50 shot. I either would have completely lived up to expectations, or I would have seen a camera and just frozen. I just think over the last couple of months, things have really clicked for me. And I just knew what to expect, and I have a great support system, friends, mentors, family, where if I feel anxious about some of these things, I can voice it, and we'll talk through it. I expected coming into Pans, I was like, there will be cameras on my mat, and that is to be expected. And how cool that people think that I can do this well. So for me, if I can look at it as in a way almost supportive, like, media thinks I can do well enough that they decided to put a camera on my mat. I think that definitely helps me reframe it. On top of, I do think it shows in my performances. I do have like a newfound self-belief. Like, I knew matches were going to be tough at Nogi Pans, but I did believe throughout the whole week that I was going to win that. If for people that have known me for a while, it's pretty uncharacteristic of me to say like, I'm going to win this. But I said it not in a disrespectful way, but anytime someone asked me, "Oh, are you doing Nogi Pans?" I just say, "Yeah, I'm winning Nogi Pans." And again, it was not because I didn't think that my opponents were good. It was just because I thought I was better.
What was that kind of switch for you to go from like being more anxious and unsure to like having the confidence to be like, no, I'm winning Nogi Pans?
I mean, it definitely feels good when you're competing. I mean, look, like I still got nervous. Like before the finals, it was different. I'd never been in a major final. I'd never had the classic IBJJF voice calling your name before the finals.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I've watched so many of these, and then I'm like, oh my God, like this, they're gonna call my name. But it does feel good. I feel like the best way to describe it, a friend put it really well, is I'm now able to talk to myself as if I were a friend that's kind of talking a friend through their nerves. Like we're all in jiu-jitsu, so at some point one of our friends has competed, and or maybe like a young blue belt has competed, and you kind of help them out. You give them pointers, and
I have no friends. I help no one.
I have no friends. Okay, well, you can. Just,
I understand the concept.
You can just listen in on this then. We've all talked like a young blue belt through like their chaos, right? And I feel like I can do that for myself and really, just be objective about it. Like, for example, okay, you rock up to a tournament and your body feels bad. Like every injury you have just kind of feels off. Like you try to warm up and your knee's a little cranky and this and that. And it's just like, hey dude, like it's just adrenaline. Just warm up. Like it doesn't matter. And with the self-belief, it's just like life is a lot easier when you're competing, when you hear ifs in your head, you just go, nope. Like we're not doing that today. Like there's no ifs, literally just focus on now.
For sure.
Was that the kind of thing that you were working on, or did that just kind of come naturally?
Oh, definitely did not come naturally. I mean, thanks to you guys, there are plenty of videos of me getting submitted, and
You're welcome.
Hey, there's videos of me getting submitted on FloGrappling too.
I'm pretty sure if someone looks not too hard, they can find a video of me double pulling and getting mounted off of it. So there you go. That's someone's.
Horrible.
That's actually why we
an
brought
Easter
you
egg
in.
out there.
Get out of here.
Slack
Get off the show.
I know.
No, that's why we brought you in. Slack has that one pulled up. Go ahead and play it.
Yeah, let's walk through that one.
Okay, just gonna have that looped on this back TV while we the interview.
No, I mean, look, I definitely was not a natural athlete. Growing up, I did the same sports that my two older brothers did, kind of just because my parents were like, oh, well, your brothers do this, so we'll put you in. It makes sense. Logistically, it was easy.
We don't want to drive to a second thing, so you just do
right,
this too.
and it made sense, right? And like at the time, I was like, sure, but I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't very athletic.
What sports?
Which sports? Yeah.
It was basketball and tennis. I also in basketball, the thing is, the first 2 years, I played in an all boys team because there were not enough girls to make a female team, and
Sounds fun.
huh?
Sounds fun.
Yeah, that was horrible. And how old was I? I was like 10 or something. So it's like prime age to not like boys and girls literally like separate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
100%.
Being on different sides of the dance.
It was horrible. Like, and I'm already just a very shy person. Like I really have had to work on just like, not letting that just ruin my life. And I hated it. So I didn't really like sports when I was growing up. And then, when I started jiu-jitsu, I was like 16, almost 17. I was not. I was like good at it. I think I was like pretty intuitive, especially on the bottom. But like competition wise, like people that have known me since white belt, it was always up and down. Like, and nerves really were my worst enemy. Like 100%. I had this like physiological response that I had never dealt with, because as a kid, like I competed in team sports. In tennis, I didn't really compete. So it was never just on me. And even when I competed in team sports, like I did not handle the nerves well. So I think I had to go through, mastering that as an adult. And it took a lot of trial and error. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, like it's just been a bunch of pieces that came together, and sometimes like I'd have periods at the colored belts where it looked like things were clicking, and I'd win a major or something. Like I won, I don't know, like Nogi Worlds at brown belt. I won it. And then the next tournament I did, I got like armbarred in like 10 seconds by a purple belt or something. Like someone that respectfully like just didn't really have like a big name or anything. It was just like, oh, yep, Anna just didn't show up today.
It was more that your performance was down than like actually here's this.
I mean, I don't remember the match exactly, and not to take credit away from it, but like I that was also my MO of just like up and down and up and down, and like you could see it in my face. Like we could pull up matches where I'm like, yep, that's the face. Like
if you insist.
No, please.
Jiu-jitsu is kind of an incredible thing. How you described, sports weren't meshing well for you and your personality. You were shy, I think that's one of the cool things about jiu-jitsu, just to wax poetic, I guess, about jiu-jitsu as a whole. Because it's like you can make jiu-jitsu any way you want when you're just training and stuff. Like you can go in and just like kind of say hi, but not really talk to anyone, drill the moves quietly, roll, and just kind of do your own thing, even though you're mixed in with people. Or you can be like, outgoing and interacting and sharing techniques and talking and all that, So it's kind of like, it is a great thing, especially I feel like for kids who are looking for a little bit more of maybe like they need to put themselves out there, but they're not sure how, because they can do it both ways. Like you can be a shy kid and do jiu-jitsu, and it's perfectly fine. Like it's not weird to not like, be in the locker room doing hoorah stuff all the time. It's like, that is kind of a great thing about jiu-jitsu, and ultimately I think it does build your personality and character, where you then kind of are able to open up and all that. So
it definitely does. I feel like the growth that I've seen from like a mindset standpoint in comp, and just how, I mean, even if you look at my wins over this week, I showed emotion when I won. I made the finals day, and
I've noticed that's one of your go-to celebrations.
The double slap.
Because it's just like I'm excited, and the thing is I've always had these feelings of excitement. I would show them in private to my corner and to my team, and I just never really did publicly. Maybe because I was like, it's disrespectful, or because I was like, man, like who do I think I am that I'm celebrating this? But it's just like, dude, why wouldn't I? Like, I'm excited. Let me show you. And I feel like this kind of growth where I'm willing to put myself out there and whatnot, like it shows in my personal life too. Like I would have avoided your message about coming on this podcast not too long ago. I would have just been like, oh hell no! Like, can we do like an article or something? Can I just send you a picture and
we collab on a post?
Yeah.
I'm very pro athletes celebrating.
I am
their wins. Athletes get a lot of hate for celebrating. You never know what an athlete is going through to go through, all these matches and come out the winner. Like they deserve to celebrate.
It's so hard to win.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's very easy to lose. It's hard to win. So when you win,
100%.
You say whatever you want. Damn shit. I always do that to let the guests know they can cuss, but my mom does watch. And
how funny is it going to be on the episode itself?
My mom's
when
also watching, so I'll keep it down.
Shout out.
We're going to keep hers in, but bleep all yours.
Yeah. No, I don't want the audience to see me cuss, but
can we collab on a post where you guys just
put your
cut
cuss
all
words?
my cuss words? Great. It's going to look great on my feed.
But yeah, no, it's like
I love that we could have her fight like any of the top girls. She'd be like, totally. But when it comes to swearing, she's like, I'm a little nervous about it.
with like the athlete celebration thing too. It's like that's a display of raw emotion. That's one of the most.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Like not just in sports,
100%.
but in life. Whenever you truly see someone express raw emotion, it's like it's kind of rare, and it's like it isn't like it's deeply human. Not to get too romantic about it, but it's like very human to feel raw emotion and like. For someone to do that, it's like, I know it's critiqued, like, oh, dude won by an advantage and ripped the gi open and screamed.
Man,
it's like, bro, it's like, he finally gets to do that.
Like, he won the title.
It's hard to win.
You know what changed this for me? Sarah Rafferty, I'm sure you guys are aware of her. She represents a lot. Like, she manages a lot of great athletes in the scene. She, I think, recently started like the Athlete Business Lab, where she's, I think, kind of helping athletes kind of figure out this how to make it, how to deal with the pro things
out there.
And she just made a post where it was like, emotion sells, and especially if it aligns with what you're feeling. Like, I felt like my celebrating this week felt very true to me. It is what I would have done backstage anyways. And it helped get my name out there. I mean, like, there are videos of me, like, literally clapping for myself right before stepping on the podium at Pans, because, like, guess what, that shit was hard. Like, and you never know when you're gonna win another one of these. Like, knock on wood, but, like, this could be the last major I ever win. I'm 25. Like, something could happen.
Sure.
And like a lot of people would do a lot of things to win Nogi Pans, to get on UFC and have a win, have a submission win. Like, a lot of people would do a lot to win trials. Trials I did not celebrate just because I was shocked. I was just like, wow, we did that.
You did the mat slap, didn't you? At trials?
At trials, no. I did not. Trials, I'd had a rougher weight cut that, like, for the day prior. And I was very jet lagged for trials. It was my first time competing internationally, so I think I just, like, body wise, I was a little out of it. Mostly trials was like the fact that I didn't celebrate was maybe the fact that I didn't have my team with me. I did have some guys corner me that have visited New Wave before, so that was really nice of them. But I kind of just didn't have my crew with me, so it was more just like I then went and called my crew, and then, like, kind of in the hall, in an empty hallway, like, kind of jumped on FaceTime. But
went to a Zabka and celebrated at the Zabka with them.
Yeah,
Did
literally
you hit up the Zabkas in Poland? Zabka's like the little, like, convenience store with, like, a green logo.
7-Eleven.
Like a 7-Eleven, but in Poland.
Maybe I did. I have no idea.
Poland, you
Poland
would know.
Was a big blur.
If you hit a Zabka, you would know those things are sick.
I did not then. Okay, well, on the bucket list still.
So, if before the Polish tournament, you're saying you had only competed in America? Have you ever competed in Spain?
I had never competed in Spain. No. So I moved to the U.S. when I was 13. So
Gotcha.
And I do go back to Spain. I mean, 2 to 4 times a year. Usually it's 2, but recently, especially with how much I'm competing, and just the fact that I have a big girl job and, like, big girl paycheck, I can.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
I'm still waiting on my big girl paycheck. I'm working towards it. I'm on that little boy paycheck.
Apologies to HR. I feel like there's a lot of conversations coming up for you guys.
Wait, you guys get paid?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I do go back a bunch, but I've been living in the U.S. since 2013. Started jiu-jitsu in 2016, end of 2016, December.
Who'd you start with?
Elliot Marshall,
Legend.
he's in Denver.
Very cool.
You went white to black with him, right?
Yeah, white to black. When I got my black belt, I was already living in Austin, but I knew I was getting my black belt from Elliot.
Yeah.
I didn't want it from anyone else. Like, belts don't matter. Belts don't matter really, especially
But the
in
black
the
belt
modern
matters.
jiu-jitsu scene. But it doesn't, like, unless you're doing IBJJF or something. But for me, it was just, like, more of an emotional thing. Like, the belt just represents, like, man, like, we've been through it.
That's what I'm saying.
And he gave you the belt on the podium, right? Was
on
it
the podium
Nogi
at Nogi
Pans
Pans
2024?
Last year. Yeah,
So
Nogi
it's-
Pans is a good tournament for me.
For sure. And that's one thing I wanted to just point out, that it's like, this is just 1 year at black belt for you. Like, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
like,
1 year.
Promoted.
Actually, 1 year is going to be at Nogi Heroes, which I'm going to be at next month.
Okay.
So November 1st.
November 1st. Let's go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's crazy. It's only been a year. Yeah, that promotion on the podium, that one was a really special one for me because prior to that, I trained for Nogi Pans that year for 6 weeks. I was living in Austin, but I went back to Denver, and the reason I did that was because November of 2023, so back 1 year, I moved to Austin, and almost immediately a car accident injury where I was I was not at fault, but the car accident injury, my neck was hurt, and I was out of training pretty much until like September of 2024. And like it was the injury on top of just like the emotional response to it. I was really scared to go back to jiu-jitsu after like a significant neck injury, and I like I was like pretty much like on the fence about quitting. Like I just gotten to the point where like I didn't care about training anymore. I was literally like, I just want to feel normal. And Elliot, my coach, my coach since day one, I guess, he kind of handled the conversation really well with me, where he was like, look, like competing has always been a really big thing for you. How about we try to prepare for Nogi Pans? We do it. And then afterwards you can do whatever you want. And I will, we're like, my people back home are like family. When I say back home, in this case, home is Denver.
Home is Denver.
There are several homes. I went back to Denver, and the reason was it's just a gym. Like Easton Denver is where I just felt emotionally safe, and this was, I'm a very emotional person, and I felt very vulnerable after that injury, and I was surrounded by people that it quite literally see me grow up. Versus in Austin, I mean, there's a fantastic environment at New Wave, now Kingsway. But I know that these guys are pro athletes, right? Like they can't hold my hand while I figure out what I can and can't do in a roll. Like I'm not gonna feel comfortable potentially crying on the mat when I'm like really scared, like at a takedown or something. So that one was really special at Nogi Pans last year, because it was like, 6 weeks of gaining my confidence back, making the weight, which, off for a year. So it was like, okay, like get back in shape, make the weight, figure out a game plan that I'm comfortable pulling off, right? Like there were certain positions that I was still not willing to do. So I really had to modify my game, and being a guard player, or at least known as one, definitely a lot of adjustments there. And then it just all came together. So Nogi Pans honestly is probably my favorite tournament from an emotional standpoint. It's also been very brutal to me. I've either won Nogi Pans or I've gotten first rounded. It's 3 years that I got first rounded and 3 years that I won it. So
wow,
brutal.
It's literally, it is.
Yeah.
It's just
Super
up
sink
and
or
down.
swim. Yeah, I love it.
Literally.
So you got into this car accident and had a year off, essentially, where you're thinking about quitting jiu-jitsu, and then it was just 6 weeks. Like you step back into the gym, 6 weeks to prepare for Nogi Pans, and then you win Nogi Pans at brown belt, get promoted to black.
Yeah,
that's an incredible story, Anna.
This is like what we're talking about. You never know what people are going through.
I just recently realized that you really do have to just say what you're going through, and then like people like to hear about this. I'm always just kind of like, oh, like who am I to say this? Who would care?
Yeah.
No, it is a great story, and like looking back, it's like I'm really thankful for that year. It was pretty brutal. Because again, I just moved to Austin for jiu-jitsu. So like I moved to Austin for jiu-jitsu. I had ended a 7-year relationship, pretty much because I was like, our paths are going different ways and I want to chase this. My parents had recently moved from the US back to Spain. My brother that lived in Denver moved away as well. So it's like Denver, although it still has like my jiu-jitsu family, who is basically like my American family. Like Elliot Marshall, my coach, is like my American dad. And then this friend that I mentioned earlier could be my sister or my teen mom. Like she's like my American mom. Like Denver lost a lot of like hold for me. And then I come to Austin, immediately can't do jiu-jitsu. Like I had finished school. So it's like the void of, okay, you're not doing school anymore. You should find a job, but I'm injured. And then like, it was a brutal year. Like, and also I'm like navigating adulthood, as a single person, which it really felt like going to college, like whatever going to college feels like when people are single. And I don't mean it from like the relationship standpoint. It's just like, oh, like I realized I never lived,
It's on your own now.
on my own. I do have roommates, and they're like friends that I've known since 2017. Like they're really good friends, but it's like, dude, like I never had a Friday night where I was just, wow, I have no plans. My neck hurts. And like, what am I doing? So it was like,
What were you doing?
Well, I've never had a Friday like that. Can't relate to that at all.
Oh,
no
God.
friends, but dude's always just in Phoenix, huh?
Oh, my neck feels great. That's the big difference.
Yeah. What was I doing? I mean, look, sometimes I would go and watch practice at the time Roca. But honestly, like there came a point where that was depressing in a way, because everyone is being very kind and they're like, how are you? How's your neck? And everyone means really well with that, but it is kind of depressing to just like give an update like, oh, like sucks.
Nothing worse than just
or
wanting to do jiu-jitsu and just watching everybody else doing jiu-jitsu and having a great time.
And also like watching scrambles and stuff and just being like, I don't think I could ever do that. Like, because you're approaching it from the perspective of like, wow, like if I did
outsider.
that right now, I just
my neck
like
would
that literally like I'd watch
Very
wrestling and I'd just
disheartening
be like,
feeling, right?
totally.
Do you still feel effects from that injury? Do you still have to adjust at all or anything?
No, I think at this point I just know.
Kind of a slow no makes me feel like a yes.
No. I was thinking like earlier in the year, because again, like this is it hasn't really even been a year that I've been back competing. I feel around February I started having a moment where I was like, yo, like most positions that I was avoiding, I can do now.
Awesome.
There was a point where, for example, like an armbar. Imagine you have an armbar from close guard and you kind of like lock up the shoulder and you're kind of like standing on like your shoulders, and then you scoop under the far leg so that you can put them on their back.
Stacked up in an armbar.
That I would not do.
Yeah.
I simply would just go back to close guard. And I realized around February, I was like, yo, like I think I'm good. Like I'm willing to do anything. So that's a really good feeling. But
are you familiar with the decapitator, the submission? It's like a crazy, like kind of guillotine variation, but it's like really brutal on the neck. I've been working on my finishing mechanics for it, and I was wondering if you would be down to drill it with me.
I can't seem to get the submission. I can't seem to.
They say I'm not squeezing hard enough.
Yeah. What does this feel like? Is it a crank or is it a choke?
Well, when I do it, it's more of a crank. But
No, I'm just kidding.
For me, it's north-south chokes. Every time I do a north-south choke, I just feel like, damn, I'm fucking this guy's day up for like, I'm fucking the rest of this guy's week up.
I'm like, every time Marcelo does it just looks so smooth. And for some reason, I'm under here just cranking everybody's.
Twisting this guy's skull in a circle until he taps out on me.
To be honest, I had never really been hit with like a really, really good north-south until before ADCC. I was messing with Baby Shark and he just took me down and then north-south choked me. And I was like, oh, wow, that was really, really tight, dude.
He didn't hit one at ADCC though. In the finals, he hit a head and arm, right?
That was a head and arm,
It was a head and arm. I was like, yo, if he hit that in the finals, that'd be
incredible.
Pretty awesome.
I want to ask about, so you're out for a year. That's very difficult, obviously. But you have Elliot Marshall in your corner. And Elliot, I know, does a lot of inspirational work and like life coaching kind of stuff. And I know you mentioned a little bit about like him like getting you back in and helping make this plan. But can you talk about like what he was talking to you about throughout that year? Was he helping keep you positive? Anything like that?
I mean, there were periods where I was, a little more hopeful, a little less hopeful. I was a little more, I reached out a little more. I reached out a little less because, again, I'm in Austin. He's in Denver. It wasn't just him, right? Like there are several people that have really seen me grow up at Easton Denver and therefore are kind of like my crew when it comes, especially now, like emotionally, they're my crew. Now that there's some distance, right? I'm not in Denver as much. I mean, there were periods where I was a little more radio silent and he let me do that. Like, again, I'm like, our relationship is obviously one of coach athlete as well as like, in a way, like, mentor mentee.
You called him your American dad.
My American dad, right? Like, he's known me since very young. And so in a way, he also, of course, just let me grow up. Like, and I appreciated that space too. Like, I know it's, he's always there if I need to reach out. And if he ever needed to step in or if I ever was kind of like on a day where I was just having a day and I needed a call, like, he was someone that I would call. I did a few trips to Denver during that year where I was out, and in Denver was when I would like mess around and see if I was willing to train. And so, for example, I was out from training, but I would have periods where I would go in and drill or something. I would just get very discouraged with like the response that I would get from my body the next day, right? Like I drill a little bit and the next day I'm just like, I like can't move my neck. So that was like, some like peaks and valleys. So he was just helpful in like getting me to try again, more than anything. Him and, the people like in my corner, if you will, they were just very good about helping me navigate all these changes as well as just getting me to try again. Like if I was ever like, I think I'm done, they'd just be like, okay, that's fine. How about we just do a little trip to Denver and we just get on the mats and see what happens. And, eventually deciding to prep for Nogi Pans, I think that was definitely, I mean, clearly we're sitting here, so it was the right move.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
It does seem like you have a lot of great people in your life, and you're quoting a lot of wisdom from a lot of different people and everything like that. And I think it's so easy for people out there and for hobbyists and stuff to find an excuse to not compete or to want to quit or something like that, or not to train. So it's just great to hear that like even people at the highest level, it's not easy for them either.
Yeah.
Everybody's going through something. Everybody's trying to figure this thing out. Yeah. And so, I appreciate you talking about that, to be honest.
Of course.
Sure.
No, and I think especially, for example, being in Austin, I'm part of Kingsway, right? That is my team. I'm around a lot of phenomenal athletes. And I think one thing that you see everyone has in common, especially the best athletes, is they have their people. And we obviously, like, all as teammates, we all support each other, but you can only do so much, right? Like, for example, imagine I'm with a teammate that's also in the black belt division. I can't warm my teammate up if I'm going, right? Like, I have to be selfish. And so we all have our own little group of people that may or may not be at the gym that kind of hold certain roles for us that we just can't fill for others, or others at the gym just can't fill for us. So, definitely I am very lucky with just the people that I have in my life and the people that I've been able to learn under and to meet over the years. And I think it showed over the last month. Like, there was a lot of traveling, there was a lot of chaos in my life, and I never had a moment where I couldn't call someone. Like, trials, like I show up on Tuesday night to Poland, land in Warsaw, and I check my weight, and it was not good. It was like, I don't want to say a number, because
but not 55 kilos.
It was rough. Like if I gave you the number, you would be like, what? And there was a lot of, like, I mean, you see me now, like, it's not like I'm humongous, but it was a lot of just water retention as well as just 24 hours of travel. But it was a really scary number. And I knew, just, okay, don't freak out. Call Elliot. Elliot fought in the UFC, has UFC fighters that he coaches, like, knows a thing or two about weight cuts, and just got a plan, then called my American mom, and got more of, like, emotional coaching with it, where it was just like, you have a plan, we just follow the plan, and the day's almost over, so that's good, and then we have tomorrow. So it's like things like that where I feel like navigating that alone would have just been impossible. Even just cutting the weight that Friday, like, I had a teammate that was also at trials, that had it not been for that, like, that cut would have really, really sucked. Mm-hmm. So I think we all need those people, and I think that is also the beauty of jiu-jitsu, that because we train with people of all walks of life, like, you do get exposed to people that can hold those roles for you, and not because you just want to use them or anything, it's because, like, they do want to help you. So that's what's really cool about a community like this, right? Like, imagine if I were in basketball, like, I'm not going to be training with 40-year-olds that are going to ask me how my day's going. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be training with people that are just as good as me, and, kind of have to take care of their own shit. And,
like, you might get sent to a trainer who might care, might not, but it's like not actually invested.
But thanks to jiu-jitsu and to the fact that I came from I think a very family-oriented gym with great jiu-jitsu, but definitely just, a gym where we're not just trying to build champions, like, we're trying to build a good community. Like, that is the focus, right? Like, at Kingsway, we have a phenomenal community, but the goal is to create athletes. And so, like, as athletes, we are selfish people versus, at a regular gym, if you will, you just get to interact with a bunch of people that, like, man, down the line, like, are helping you cut weight for trials and are helping you figure out logistics when you get overwhelmed as to how you're going to hit 5 cities in 4 weeks or something,
Yeah. And obviously those calls worked because you ended up making weight and competing at trials.
I did make weight.
I think we could get into your trials run
Let's
a little
do it.
bit more here if you're
Yes,
down for it,
please.
because you had 4 matches, 4 submissions, one of the best performances at trials. It was incredible to watch. If you want to take it back to kind of more of the start, maybe we can talk through some of these matches, because your first one here, you have a Norwegian grappler. I believe she trains out of Oxy.
Yep.
And you end up like rolling through on this guillotine in this one, right?
Yes. So this was like the similar guillotine to the one that Gordon hit on Keenan in 2017. I think it was the finals of 88. I forget what the Japanese name for this is.
Oh, no.
I should know it.
Oh no, you're gonna be in big trouble when you turn to
I
Kingsway.
think it's a Nukiwaza. This is a Nukiwaza. Let's go.
I was gonna let you play.
You were gonna let me.
Have you been having fun learning the Japanese terms, Trevor?
Okay, I do think it's really nice to be able to catalog things in your head by name. When you
That's the whole reason John does it, right?
Yeah,
Is like because so it has very specific names.
Yeah, exactly. You can call for things as well as you can remember things. I think far better when you actually have a name for it versus when you're like, that grip.
Yeah.
Then you
Move
kinda,
with the thing, and then you do this.
And also when it comes to verbalizing it, it is a lot easier. But yeah, the first match, she was Norwegian. I knew she'd won Nogi Worlds at Blue. I figured she was gonna come in hot. I actually was surprised that she came up on the poll, but because it was no points, I figured she probably had a different game plan, but snatched the head pretty early, and on the reset I knew I was gonna hit this.
It's exactly like Gordon Keenan.
Yeah, I felt once on the reset I knew exactly what I was gonna hit. It was this was clean. This looked so good on video.
Yeah.
It's just I snatched the head pretty early, and from there I just got to a position where I knew I could finish.
So you had all this kind of a little bit of, I guess you could say, a rocky start to this trials, and then you come out, get the submission. Is there a little bit of a relief from that? Where you're like, okay, now I'm in the mix. First match out of the way, got the sub.
Oh, when I warmed up, I was already like, no, I feel good.
Okay.
Like my body felt good. Leading up to the warm up, I had to really like amp myself up to warm up because I was like, wow, my body feels just dead. But once I was warm, I was good. And yeah, it's always nice to get a nice quick sub, especially to just hit a position where you're like, sweet, like
Yeah.
we're looking good
Like
today.
I know that looked sick.
Yes.
a little highlight to get the day going.
And then in your second one here, we saw you kind of got into this with that little overhook,
Yeah, with the overhook.
You were joking around about the mirror lock stuff. I think you kind of are a little bit of an overhook mirror locker, at least to build the other things or even finish mirror lock. But
Go train with Adele for a couple weeks. You come back, suddenly you're trying to mirror lock.
That's so funny because Adele was hitting us from close guard. She was hitting everyone. I mean, when she would shoot close guard, it was brutal, right? I was definitely on the receiving end of a lot of submissions, but she actually didn't mirror. I don't know if she mirror locked other people, but she wasn't hitting that. She'd go for other things. I did watch her instructional a couple weeks before I went to Vegas, which I think some of it stuck.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good, huh? And then at Blue Belt, I did have like a little close guard era where this was my jam, as well as Elliot always studied John's material. Back when he was fighting and everything, he would go to the blue basement a bunch. So we did have there was an emphasis on like the clamp, like let's say we're in half guard, like putting in a butterfly hook and then overhook into clamp and that kind of game. I was never very good at the clamp. I found out recently it's just because I would not get on my side, which I've ever since fixed. It was a quick fix, but it took like 8 years to arrive at that conclusion.
that's kind of what jiu-jitsu is,
dude,
right?
it literally is.
Years.
It's like someone's like, have
Coming
you
back
thought
around.
of turning?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, but thank you. But yeah.
It does always feel like, because there are a lot of details like that, and every time you find out the answer to me, it always feels like you found out the door is a push, not a pull.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
why
It's just,
haven't
like, always that
why
simple.
haven't I been doing this for 8 years?
Yeah,
Like,
obviously.
Infuriated.
Yeah.
You're just
It's like you kind of feel silly, but then it's also like, no, actually, this is kind of the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
I will never forget this now. Like
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
always turn on my side. But yeah, second match was Martina Zola, which was
you had that arm bar to finish that one.
Yeah, armbar to finish. I threatened the mirror lock and she defended correctly, and then I turned it into a lat juji.
Lat juji, nice.
Japanese names. And then just turned it into a conventional armbar. Because it was not a qualifying trials, there was no slamming.
I didn't know that they had a different
I
rule
also
for that.
did not know this. I was ready to
wondering if
this
you were
armbar,
Yeah.
but the ref did say no slamming because it's not a qualifying trial. So
Interesting.
shout out to the ref.
Shout out to the ref. That's a lot to yell in a short amount of time. No slamming. It's not a qualifying trial.
And no, I was like, yeah.
Thank you.
It's like things weren't looking good there. And then here, Josephine Modig, super talented. She won actually the previous first trials, so the 2023 first European trials. She's had great runs in the brown belt division and now also a black belt. I think she got it around the same time that I did. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of double guard pull. I know she's well versed in the legs. We have different games when it comes to leg locking, but like I would say she's a little more leans towards bolos and is very, very good navigating K guards. There was a lot of foot pummeling here, a lot of threatening the front head. I eventually did decide to come up, and I do believe we were in the points period. Yep, because we're at 250 something. I came up over here because I did see an opportunity to maybe pass. And then points period. So I dropped on the legs so that I wouldn't take a score. And then once I was connected to the leg, I did feel, obviously I'm chasing the sub, but I felt like once I was connected to the leg, we were going to finish the match like with either me collecting a sub or me still connected on the leg. Obviously if we had finished out, we would have then gone to OT, but we rolled out of bounds a couple times. I don't know if she was almost going to tap or if
she looks for it, right?
She looked like it, but I wasn't hollowing out my chest enough that I kind of ran out of like range of motion to apply the pressure, and the grip wasn't quite on. So here we roll out of bounds again.
So crazy to see how many straight ankle locks are coming up in these positions where like a generation ago, which is say like 5 years ago, it would have just been people hunting for the heel hook.
Yeah.
But there's so much more emphasis. Can you talk a little bit about that and like not switching off to a heel hook there?
The thing is, I love that we're in the ankle lock era. I feel like it's perfect for me. If you think about it, I was very much an IBJJF girly and very much a gi girly for the majority of my career, if you will. So for the most part, ankle locks were the only thing I could do. So I feel I just
got good at it.
I'm pretty good at the ankle at that kind of grip. It feels very intuitive to navigate all the different positions, and I'm just kind of lucky that this is the era that we're in. And then here, what happened was transferred to the knee bar, and as I went to finish, it was kind of like before she tapped. Here transferred to the knee bar. It was pretty tight. It was like kind of on the side too. As she tapped, it already like kind of gave a little bit, and here I did get upset. But Josephine is a warrior. She told me it was okay. It was like, hey, like it's not your fault. As well as shout out to her because she won the third place match. She actually did not get cleared by the medical staff to do the third place match. Argued with them as she should, and then won the third place match.
What a beast.
Seriously, like
that's awesome.
Yeah,
dude, a warrior.
That was crazy that she got to her feet faster than you did.
No, literally, it looks like I got hurt. Yeah. Dude, like actually, we both scream in that video, which we don't have to play, or we can do that. We both screamed, and mine was because she screamed. I heard and felt the finish, and then I really like I very rarely, I don't think I've ever really hurt anyone.
Is that the worst you've ever done to somebody in a submission hold?
No, but anytime that anything bad has happened, I have a very similar reaction. I definitely don't like hurting people. I don't think, most sane people don't. So
I love it. I love it.
This is why you don't get paid.
That's our wild card, I guess.
Okay.
Now you're heading into the finals, right?
Yes. Here, kind of feeling it out on the feet. Honestly, I was like, as long as I keep good position, and just don't expose my back, we can play on the feet. I'm not mad about it. It's like worst case what, you get taken down. So shot an underhook. Did I do it here? No, I tried to snatch a front head, but her head is too high. I was definitely kind of.
You also can't pull here, right? Without giving up the
penalty. We're in finals. So over here, I think I shoot an underhook, and then I make the mistake of just giving up hip position. Yeah, I shoot for the body lock, give up hip position, shoot the closed guard, and then from here snatch that overhook. Her posture's a little low, so I think I take a frame. Yeah, and her elbow comes to the center line, and I take a frame here across the neck, yeah, to kind of adjust the mirror lock. And then from here, I knew I was at least going to get a reaction, and then she tapped, and I think this is where I think I'm just shocked. I'm just like, and then I don't know. I think I smirked or something. That was the
tiny little
smirk on there. You had a little smirk on there.
I was like, wait, I just won. That was crazy. Also because this wasn't a qualifying trials, I think I was just kind of like,
okay,
yeah,
that was sick.
That was cool. I also don't think it like hit me that I was like, oh, like I just subbed everyone. That was very good.
Yeah.
So for this mirror lock, you're kind of setting the elbow on your hip. Mm-hmm. And then it's almost like an Americana it comes on. Can you just talk a little bit more about like what the mirror lock is doing?
I felt like so what I was thinking about is if my elbow's on my hip, then there's just kind of like a wedge, if you will. A wedge. What a
structure, a frame.
Yeah. What a Danaher word to use. Every time I say wedge, I'm like, wow.
Were you creating a dilemma in this situation?
Oh goodness, a trilemma.
Was it shockingly easy?
Back when I was in school, I used the word wedge a lot, but it was usually end with an IE, and people were yelling it at me, when they would hang me from the flagpole and whatnot. So that's me and her not so.
And look
different.
at you now.
Not so different.
Look at you now. At least you get paid.
A little boy check, but
one day you'll get there.
Yeah. Whenever you started kind of noticing that the mirror lock might be there, were you kind of like, hey, time to play the hits, time to dust off a classic?
We're 57 seconds into the match, so I mean I was in closed guard. I felt like I could have kept the closed guard for all 8 minutes if I had wanted to. So I felt really confident that she wasn't gonna get out of closed guard. So I was like, yeah, I mean, if I lose this arm because I oversunned it, whatever. Like worst case, what, she stands up and I connect to a leg or something.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really much to lose here. That is the beauty of ADCC, right? The first half of it. The whole point of it, guys, is that we go for subs, not that we stall. So
I'm gonna fact check that.
I don't know if anyone knew that, but yeah.
We're gonna have the boys in the back check on that. We're not so sure. We're putting that through a fact check.
I'm pretty
right
sure
now.
they didn't make it a no points period so that people could just dance around
to wait until the points.
But
But obviously a super sick performance from you at the trials, all subs, an incredible feat, not something that every athlete, even athletes who win, can perform. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
And you kind of kept that rolling, this past week, you had 3 matches at Nogi Pans, right? And then the 4th match at UFC BJJ.
Yeah.
So you've just been staying busy this whole year. Yep. And like we mentioned already, it's kind of crazy to hear this is also coming off the heels of like the story of potentially like, I don't even know if I'm going to train anymore, win Nogi Pans, get a black belt. And then within that same year of getting a black belt, now you've accomplished kind of all of this at some of the highest levels. So super incredible stuff. I want to get into your Nogi Pans run also.
Please, yeah.
But first, I think we could break it up.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe we could mix in a little carpet jitsu.
Gosh.
I was, if you're down, I was thinking you could show the mirror lock, and then maybe you can go ahead and show the kind of the crazy arm
overhook thing.
That shoulder lock. We'll have to do a play-by-play, and we'll see if we can recreate it, because that was more of a creative, kind of like intuitive.
Gotcha.
Should we do the play-by-play first?
Yeah, let's do the play-by-play. Maybe get that one queued up for her on that one, and maybe Slack, she could throw on your love if that wouldn't be too hard, and we can move this out. Joe, do you want to be the Uki for this one?
Yeah, I can do that.
And I'll talk real quick about IM8 while they're just setting this up, because somebody's got to pay the bills. Joe ain't getting the check, but somebody is, and this is the official IM8 move of the week presented by IM8. Now listen, I don't love choking down tons of different supplements. You know, it's not my favorite thing to do. I love doing jiu-jitsu, watching jiu-jitsu. I don't got time to choke down supplements. I'm not disciplined enough, but luckily IM8's brought together all of the essential things that I need in one drink so I can, you know, drink this bad boy and I know that I'm good to go. I'm going to be set up. So this is the IM8 move of the week. We got Anna Mayordomo. She's going to show this crazy arm lock.
There you go. Which arm do you prefer to hit it with?
Where's the camera?
That's what I'm figuring out.
It's,
Tell me what
I hit it on the left, so
yeah, so rotate that way.
I'm gonna hit it on this
hit it on
one.
this one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
That works.
We
the-
need to
go the
switch
other
now.
way.
Yeah,
other way?
because there's a camera. I'm good at finding cameras. We
Alright.
talked about this.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Here, let's see it. Oh goodness. Okay, so let's see what we did. Let's play it again.
This is live problem solving.
Okay.
Live problem solving.
Okay. I think I know what happens here.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I think we can get there. So I had an overhook, and from here, a common thing that people are gonna do from an overhook is they're gonna start clearing their arm like so. So what I did is I took this kind of like Russian grip, but with my partner's hand kind of still in an awkward position where he is in a pretty like Kimura-esque position. And then from here, I blocked my partner's wrist so that he can't really clear it. And then I think what I did is I like weaved my arm in, but your arms aren't bendy enough.
No,
Your arms are you sure? Okay, so like your arms through. I'm scared.
Joe has really flexible shoulders.
I'm
It's like
notoriously
I
flexible.
cleared it here, and then from here, I think I cleared my arm and just kind of like wrenched it.
Pop.
Boom. With my partner though, because her arms are very lanky, if you notice, like she's pretty lanky for the division, as well as there's not the size difference. I was able to kind of weave my hand all the way through. Yeah, like my elbow almost clears. Yeah, so we're here. Yeah, you try to clear it. I trap it. I kind of go off to the side and I'm here. Trap. And then now what I did is my arm is going to come all the way through. Oh my gosh.
Break
And
it,
then
Anna.
Break it.
Got that?
What a nuts position.
That
to
was
find
that was
yourself
crazy.
in.
I think just in the moment I wasn't really thinking like I've probably hit this before, right? Like
You weren't
I-
thinking that.
no, like I wasn't thinking like a play-by-play like technique. It was more, okay, I know this grip. I was trying to go to the back with it, but she cleared her arm in a way that kind of put her in an awkward position, and then I trapped it and I recognized, okay, like her shoulder's compromised. How can I keep her hand there and kind of not switch my grip so that she can clear it? Because of the overhook, right? Her shoulder's kind of trapped, and if I try to clear my right arm in any sort of way, she's going to be able to free it. So I was like, okay, I think I can just weave it through. And then from there, I was like, okay, she's in a terrible spot. I just need something that can pull on her arm and kind of have it fully give.
Yeah. You need a lever and a wedge and
Oh goodness, don't really big words at me, please. But yeah, no, the video looks sick.
it looked sick in live time. I remember watching it and just being like, man, that's some stuff in the gym where it's like, I don't know, that looks like it makes make arm go ouchy, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's one of those times where I'm like,
It do.
yeah. It's one of those times where I'm like, wow, Instagram jiu-jitsu really does work. I don't think I ever really saw this, but I was just really, when I was a blue belt, I really enjoyed, I still do every once in a while, I really enjoyed this like Russian grip, and like that throw, that like sacrifice throw that you do. It also has a Japanese name, and Gary.
Also an ukiwaza.
No, ukiwaza's, maybe you're right, I don't know. But the one where you
tell
like,
him he's wrong.
the one that's like a sacrifice throw, do you know what I'm talking about? So
Where
then
you like fall down and roll, and I roll over the top.
Yes, and you have to front roll. I really enjoyed this grip from closed guard and from butterfly, and so I feel like I just found myself there at black belt pans, and I was like, send it.
You want to show the mirror lock too while we're at it? There's some great stuff
We can show
on
the
it.
mirror lock.
You're a very analytical grappler, I'm realizing. Yeah.
Thank you.
On the reverse Kimura, when she like brought her thigh up. On the reverse Kimura, when she brought her thigh up, unbelievable pressure.
Yeah, the thigh kind of like stopped your hand from being able to escape. Let's see, the mirror lock. I mean,
It's our final of the trials.
Yes, finals of trials. could definitely shout out to Adele. Definitely check out her instructional. But yeah, Muirlock. The big thing here is my partner had pretty good posture, so I felt like to get the elbow position kind of like at the point where I could actually wedge. Oh my God.
Joe's arm just popped so loud.
We just went over how when I hurt people, I cry. So do you want me to cry on this live podcast? Okay. So Bendel, I believe, was kind of bent over in a way where it was like difficult to just like send the Muirlock right away. So I used a frame to kind of force the elbow across, and then I believe I hip escape, and then I reinforce this elbow position with my hip so that now it's difficult for you to kind of square back up with me, and then from here I just kind of side crunch.
Yeah, she steps her right knee up actually, right there, Joe. Your right knee. Yeah. So then you kind of have that
this
angle.
almost makes it worse. Tap.
Yeah.
Nice.
I want to like get back in a way, but it's an incredible amount of pressure.
Heck yeah, Anna. Thanks for showing that. Thanks for popping Joe's. Here, I'll take that mic off you.
Great.
We're all just got a little bit better at jiu-jitsu, so thanks, Anna. Appreciate it.
That was awesome. My arm hurts really bad.
We've been trying to get somebody to pop Joe's arm. So
thank God.
Welcome.
This guy's always bragging about how his arms are, so bendy.
It's back in place now. That
was
you
so
kind of
scary.
corrected it.
It's like, did I?
No, it cracked like a knuckle. It's fine.
What would you do if you came on our show? We ask you to show a little jiu-jitsu and you break one of our guys' arms.
That would be so
You guys
funny.
get health insurance?
I would
Is that something?
I have no idea. I'm irresponsible. They're always sending me these emails about
your
open
little boy paycheck?
Yeah, they're like, there's this open enrollment thing for insurance, and I've never clicked it.
Oh
I was
my
like, that
gosh.
sounds like phishing to me.
Anytime HR sends, I have a corporate job, right? So it's like anytime HR sends me any of these like benefit emails, I am just like, I don't have the bandwidth for this. Like, just enroll me in whatever. I just enroll in everything, which is probably not smart, but
That's the way, though.
a girl can only do so many things. I'm like, I don't want to sit through an hour meeting of you.
I feel like as a pro jiu-jitsu, grappler going out there winning all these tournaments, sign up for the good health care. Really get like the health insurance at the top of the
I do feel like this topic isn't all that pertinent to our jiu-jitsu audience. I feel like most
They
of
get
them
it.
I think you're going to find that way more 35-year-old hobbyists can
Actually,
relate
this
to
is
insurance
true,
than...
yes. Shout out to the hobbyists with real jobs.
Yeah, 100%.
Love you guys.
Would you ever consider leaving your job and just going all in on the jiu-jitsu?
It's so funny. I had this conversation with Elliot. I keep bringing him up. I love him. I had this conversation with Elliot with my roommates today. They saw me for the first time in weeks. They were like, "Oh, you're back." No, I because of it started with trials. I mean, prior to trials, I would get seminar inquiries, and admittedly, a lot of the times I would kind of turn them down or send them somewhere else. Sometimes I would do them. Because I wasn't very confident in my teaching ability. Just kind of like, oh, who am I to teach a seminar? Like, what am I going to teach for an hour and a half for? So definitely just undermining myself. After trials, I definitely got a lot of inquiries, especially in Spain. So I have to put some dates together and kind of do a little tour there. And UFC connected me with even more fans, which was super cool. I definitely would love to talk about that later. And especially after Pans, the DMs have just been blowing up. So a lot of seminar inquiries, a lot of camps, which I'm really excited about. So it's looking super promising. I would consider it. I definitely, I don't think it's out of line to say I am an intelligent person. So I definitely like to be stimulated in that way, and I think having a job has always kind of helped me put things into perspective, and especially coming off an injury that was, potentially career-ending, if you will. I know that this is pretty volatile, so I think it's a little scary to
sure.
kind of jump into that. But I think if things are looking good in terms of, I can set up systems where I can take care of myself doing just jiu-jitsu. I mean, that sounds like it would be probably the next best move for my career. So
that also sounds exactly like how a jiu-jitsu person would describe moving
Setting
into,
up a system.
Yeah, setting up systems.
I was thinking that
As
too.
long as I can find a wedge into.
Oh gosh, it's more just like figuring out, like okay, like an inquiry form. Like just copy paste messages when people just ask you the same questions, and make sure you don't lose DMs, which is now an issue.
That's kind of like the blend of corporate and jiu-jitsu world, setting up systems and processes in place, because people make mistakes, but systems and processes can't,
Yeah,
so.
maybe.
We're only as good as the systems.
This is a supply chain podcast brought to you by the toilet paper crisis of 2020. We got a new sponsor. Shout out Charmin. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The Charmin Silky Smooth move of the week.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Let's get ad sales on the horn. You talked a little bit about Spain, and obviously you're from Spain. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like seeing Ilia Topuria in the UFC and dominating at such a level and doing so many amazing
things? That changed things over there?
Oh, definitely. We call it the Topuria effect, where and I notice it especially as someone that visits Spain every few months. I get to see the change, especially in the jiu-jitsu scene, as well as, I guess, more generally, how well people can recognize MMA, especially. I remember when I started jiu-jitsu, I'm not very into MMA, admittedly, but when I started jiu-jitsu, I mean, some people knew about MMA. Like my two brothers kind of did, especially it was around the Conor versus
Aldo.
Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is how guys cut the video. It was Conor versus Khabib. I remember my brothers followed it, but it was kind of difficult to find it, and it was very niche still. And over the last few years, definitely there's been a big shift there. And this last time that I was in Spain right after trials, when I went to the school that I always go to train, man, there were like 60 people on the mat for a jiu-jitsu class. And I mean, I know plenty of American gyms where that's impossible. It was insane. Also, it was September, which in Spain is kind of like back to school and back to back to university, back to your job, like August.
Back to life.
Yeah, back to life. Like August in Spain is pretty much like the month where everyone's off, or like cities are just like not themselves because everyone's vacationing. So there's that effect. It's like the New Year effect in gyms. But no, it is incredible. Like there are so many young people trying jiu-jitsu out. It's definitely making waves. So it is really cool to watch that happen, and especially now with UFC BJJ kind of investing into the scene. Are
you seeing a Mayordomo effect over there now?
Not yet, but it's in the works. But definitely, I mean, I think the UFC has a huge fan base, right? It has huge reach, and I think what it really has done for me, and I'm really thankful for, is it's connected me with a lot of MMA fans, especially in the Spanish scene. And I think the card that I did, I was the only non-American, non-Brazilian in that entire card on UFC BJJ 3. It really set me apart. I was able to reach a lot of the Spanish fans, and we really show, like, Spaniards show up for their athletes. I was thinking about why it's different in the US. If you think about it, in the US, like, competing internationally, like the idea of you competing as the USA versus other countries, is not as important in the major sports. So think about basketball. What's the biggest thing you can do in basketball? Win an NBA championship, right? Like, that's in the US, and that's clubs. Like that's like the franchises, versus you didn't say the Olympics, right? And so, like, all the major sports that you guys follow are private leagues, right? American football, there's no like world championship for it, right? So all of these sports that pull fans are privately owned clubs. So there definitely is a lot of pride, and in the Olympics everyone shows up for their athletes, but you don't see an American athlete and go like, that's my guy, regardless of what they do. Yeah. Versus I think in Spain, if we do have athletes, for example, in the NBA, like we can count them with two hands, right? And we all recognize them. Like, Paul Gasol was a hero for everyone, even if he didn't know basketball, right? who do we root for in tennis? Rafa Nadal, like Carlos Alcaraz. In like growing up, my brothers watched Formula One. Like there was one Spaniard, so we were with him.
Carlos Sainz?
No, the time was Fernando.
I wanted to try and get one.
Fernando Alonso. Yeah, like it is just like a cultural thing, and you do see this with a lot of other countries. It's not just Spain, but I'm just obviously very connected to Spain, and the fact that I was able to connect with that fan base. It's done a lot for me. Like obviously I've my Instagram has been blowing up, and I really do feel the support, especially from Spain right now. Like for Pans, it was different. It was right after UFC, and I'm still kind of riding the wave of exposure from the UFC, and then I made it a point to kind of announce that, like, hey, I'm in the finals. Like, and I did it in Spanish. I really tried to spread the word. The gyms that I've been training at in Spain, both in my hometown as well as other cities that I visited, they all shared it in their group chats that I'm a part of. Because whenever I show up in the city, it's just kind of like, hey guys, like, when are we training? I really felt it at Pans. Like it was different. So definitely, like, Spaniards show up for their people, and we just back up athletes. And there's this really nice quote that it's very funny that Spaniards say. It's I'm Spanish, what do you want me to beat you at? Like there's just like this.
How do you say it in Spanish?
Soy español, ¿a qué quieres que te gane? Or ¿en qué quieres que te gane? But yeah, like it's just like a little bravado, It's
yeah,
just like
super sick.
But it's just
that.
Yeah. But it's just because we just rally. Like we see that you're good, or that you're in the mix, especially in a sport where you're a minority. Like my guy, my girl, like immediately. Sure. It doesn't matter. Like it could be badminton. Like I don't watch badminton, but you're good? Cool. We got you.
You're our folks now.
That's a super cool line for sure. And it works when you're a Spaniard. I'm Spanish. What do you want me to beat you at? But if I was like, I'm American, what do you want me to beat you at? I don't think it sounds as cool.
Oh, it's like you guys just don't have the history doesn't back you on that one.
Yikes.
It's like you have
oh man.
Yeah,
I'm American. What do you want me to apologize for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you told us a story before the podcast, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but it'd be cool if you wanted to. But your kind of route to the Spanish media at UFC, I thought was really cool. Do you want to kind of talk about how you were able to kind of like get some exposure from there and get promoted in that way?
Yeah. So I definitely made a point to say. Like I've always done like the Spanish nails. I've always like
do the face paint, the arm.
The face paint that face paint I have from whenever like World Cups or Euro Cups happen and we do like watch parties. Like I'll put that on. So again, like we rally. Yeah. Like I don't watch soccer regularly. Like my siblings scarred me enough with forcing me to watch so much soccer when I was little because they would just hoard the TV. That I definitely don't watch soccer and I don't have time for that. But Euro Cup shows
I just appreciate that you're calling it soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in America. You. I know.
My girl.
I know if I said football, you guys would be like, but yeah, I had that
wouldn't
pain.
be able to follow.
I know.
I don't
understand.
I'm American. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Stop talking like that.
Quite literally.
I'm American. Football gives you concussions.
You reached out to their media, right? And you're
yeah. I mean, I made it a point to let them know that I knew Spanish, right? Like I'm bilingual. And then I saw, okay, they have a Spanish team. They connected me with someone, but that was in August when I did a photo shoot in August because I had already signed with them. So they were like, oh, cool. Like we'll record you training, and that way we can put out some videos early on. But then when I came back for like fight week, I made it a point to reach out to them because I knew I was in the prelims. So more than likely there are far more accomplished people on the card than me. And so they're not going to get a lot of content on me, and it totally makes sense. Like there were people with a far better following, but I was the only person on that card that spoke Spanish, or actually I think so. Or at least that's said that they do. And I just reached out to the team and I was like, yo, like, I'm happy to do content. I'm, like meet up for whatever. And then after the fight, same thing. They had me do media in Spanish, and clearly it's been going pretty well. Like there's a lot of content out there right now, and I'm getting little articles on Spanish newspapers.
That's gotta be a good feeling, right?
Yeah, no, it is really cool. Like my family group chats are popping also. Everyone's like, just my parents are just sharing this article. They have no idea about jiu-jitsu. Like my dad still says that I KO'd someone when I finished them.
That's kind of awesome.
And I wish it were a joke. It's not.
Rules.
So it's like my parents, if you ever watch the few times they've watched me live, they still, I don't know why they do this, because I'm like, guys, like they're recording it, but they record it in their like shitty phones and it's like all blurry and shit, and it's like
I see that all the time at tournaments. Drives me nuts.
Dude,
we're
like,
taping this for you guys. Don't worry.
There are cameras, like real cameras, but whatever. And what I really appreciate is you can hear them talking to each other. They're like in Spanish, they're like, is that good? And I'll usually they ask when I'm on bottom in guard, and they're like, I think she's winning because her people are cheering. This is good. And then the match will be over and they're like, what happened? not that you could be like, she armbarred someone and they would know what that is. They would just be like, huh. Like, for example,
seems like it went well.
There's a video of like me jumping close guard at Pans for my semifinals. Like where is it?
She looks pretty upset, and the other girl's walking
with
around.
The extended, okay, that's Nikki. Yeah, that one. So this jump, they're like, oh, you like grabbed her all aggressively. You jumped.
That was
like
the
a
craziest
monkey.
hug I've ever seen.
Yeah, no,
Congratulations.
So my family group chats are,
well, I just want to say, it doesn't matter how nice of cameras you end up getting on you and stuff. Mr. and Mrs. Mayordomo, keep filming it. That video is way more awesome than anything we could film.
High sentimental.
Shout out to my dad though, because he's very annoying with the camera and everything, but thanks to him, I do have videos of my first ever jiu-jitsu match.
Oh, incredible.
So
awesome.
Incredible.
That is, equal parts awesome and embarrassing.
How did it go?
That one I won. So that was cool.
Congratulations.
All right, let's go.
Thank you so much. Really.
A little belated, but
Let's play that
congratulations.
one.
And we've reached out, yeah.
Let's project it.
But yeah, I do want to get into a couple of your Nogi Pans matches also. If you want, we can watch a couple of the submissions.
Maybe, not be so long-winded.
That's all right. People get tired. That's why we're the worst show on the internet, because people are like, man, these dudes are still talking, bro.
Why is this chick still talking?
All right, so
I think a lot of the scoring sequences might have been earlier.
And this is also the finals. Maybe
the finals there wasn't a finish, but I can definitely talk a little bit through just like what
that works.
Thinking.
This is your match against Beatrice Campos?
Yes, that's the semifinals. And then the quarterfinals was Nikki Sullivan. Do we want to talk about this one?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so here...
No, let's just have it.
Do you just
grabbed her with your legs again?
Yeah, I jumped. I think my middle brother said, she did it's like the monkey maneuver or something would be the translation. Yeah, there it is.
We might have to get your family on and have them.
This might be the best way to do it.
I'll be the everyone speaks English as well, so yeah, we can just have...
I still feel like with families, like everyone could speak English, but you still need a translator to be like, well, what actually?
Yeah,
what
they actually
meant
was yes. The conversations are funny in Spanish. In English, it would just be like what really boring. Okay, so with Beatrice, early in the match, she got an advantage for coming up on the double guard pull, and then I was having a hard time engaging her. She was doing a good job of kind of engaging in the guard, disengaging, and just kind of racking up, I would say, like, initiations. I know IBJJF doesn't go off of that, but she was looking active. And then at one point off of an exchange, we ended up on the feet. So I saw an opportunity to jump close guard. I hadn't jumped close guard in a long, long time. It's not really a thing that I do. Obviously in the training room, this is very much banned. So it's not like I practice this.
That's a big no-no in Kingsway.
Absolutely. And it should be in every gym. Every time I visit a new gym before I train with someone, I politely say like, hey, I assume not, but just so I'm sure, no jumping close guard, right? And I make it a point for everyone that I'm potentially going to be training with to kind of hear that conversation.
Yeah. I always think an interesting thing / like a good thing that John Danaher, I've heard him say multiple times whenever they're about to start like live rounds and everything, is that if you like pick someone up and they leave their feet, you're responsible for how they return back to the mat. You know, so it's like you can't just like throw a dude over his head and dummy him for no reason. It's like you are responsible how he kind of returns.
Agree.
There is the Gary Tonin asterisk where every time you lift Gary up, he will then try to backflip and double roll and gator roll midair.
He maintains the control of how it gets back down.
If you can get it, then sure, but
he's a freak. But okay, so hard time engaging with her. At some point off of an exchange, we ended up on the feet. I saw the jump to the closed guard. I did it once. She got her knee in the middle. She's shorter than me, which is rare for me in the training room. So she was able to do that knee in the middle, which I was like, oh, okay. So then we ended up back on the feet because off of closed guard, when she split my legs, I was in K guard. She got an advantage for a toe hold. And then we scrambled back up to the feet because I was trying to get my 2. And then I jumped close guard again, and this time I was like, okay, she's gonna try to shove the knee in the middle. I climbed up on her shoulders, locked up around her shoulders so that now her posture is very much broken. Split the grip in the hands, and then from here I still don't have I don't have a triangle. I still just had the shoulders, but then I was able to turn it into an arm bar, and I qualified for the finals. This was a big deal for me.
This is actually something I didn't realize in live time. I thought you had the triangle locked. I didn't realize her other arm was also in.
Her other arm was still in. So it's one of those like.
It's like a dead orchard almost.
Yes, but like a little more side on. Like I think when I think dead orchard, maybe I'm wrong. Like I think of it like kind of a little more straight on.
It's like a top lock when you've closed your feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, qualified for the finals and.
We get some mat slaps, right?
That's right. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I like the mat slaps. I just want to say, because you talked about hesitation to celebrate and stuff. I like it because it's like
it is too.
Like what we talked about. People relate to emotion and stuff, and it's like, oh, sick.
It's a big deal. Like black belt finals at a major. That's a big deal, and like. Yeah, I'm gonna celebrate accordingly.
You should keep evolving the mat slap though. I don't know what that looks like, but like if that was like your thing and you found new ways to slap the mat, and maybe sometimes you like do like a roll through and like slap it like that or something. I don't know.
Definitely, there's been one-handed ones before. There's been
a beat going,
little rhythm.
I would say we just go into the final maybe. And,
because Nikki Sullivan, we saw the finish. We did it earlier.
Yeah.
Actually, I will talk about the mat slap at the end of this one when we get to it. Because for a second, I did think you were tapping with both hands.
No. I heard the...
I was like, oh, wow, she must have really got her.
I heard the whistle.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tinara, man, she's very dangerous. I did feel that... So where I think Tinara is dangerous is I've seen a lot of footlocks from her. I'm sure she's well versed in like upper body attacks, but definitely that's where at least Nogi I've seen her do better. Like I know she had a match with Tiffany Butler. I think her last name's different now because she's married, but on WNO a while back she had a match with Catherine Ivey. That one went to a decision, but she's well versed in the footlocks. She likes ankle locks. I did feel like I was confident I was not going to get finished. I felt like I can navigate the leg lock realm just as well, if not better than her. So I felt comfortable with her strengths, but what I knew was that she was likely not going to come up, at least not from her Nogi matches, and just also being an athlete that does both gi and Nogi. In this weight class, you do see a lot of girls favoring the guard. So I knew this match. Elliot like summed up the strategy for me really well. He was like, the strategy is putting pace on her because worst case you're racking up advantages. Best case we're passing her guard, and I did feel a little hesitant about that. Like I was like, okay, like I'm passing, because a lot of the success you've seen me have recently came from guard play. But man, my guard passing is very good as well. I just don't think people get to see as much of it. And especially in this rule set, again, having competed, like, it was a month of 3 different rule sets, and I think the IBJJF is the one where I felt the least comfortable because I feel like people can game these matches a lot more. And Tinara is a very smart person that obviously knows how to play the rules to her advantage. Like she's beat Maisa before, so that I think that says it all.
Super tough.
Yeah,
champion, Pan champion this year in the gi.
Yeah. So like very, very smart and dangerous as well. So the strategy was put heat on the guard passes And this we didn't discuss, Elliot and I didn't discuss, but I just found a lot of estima attempts from the top. I jumped on an ankle lock and scored 2 because we rolled out of bounds. Like I was putting heat on it. I thought I had it, but we ended up rolling out of bounds. They gave me 2, but then they took these.
Yeah, they took it away. I was going to say
2 away, which like
gave you the advantage.
Respectfully, I don't agree with. But I didn't care. I saw how many advantages I had, and I was just glad I hadn't like taken a sweep because I thought I was up. So I'm glad I played it smart. But yeah, I racked up a bunch of advantages off of ankle lock attempts and estima lock attempts, and then was still trying to get around the guard, and I again just being very mindful that an entanglement on the leg was where she would be able to score later on in the match. So I was trying to avoid getting entangled, even though I think like minute 4, like 4 minutes left, or maybe
it kind of ends with like
it ends with her in 50-50, so she gets the 50-50, and at this point I know that there wasn't that much time left. It felt like forever.
She also scored late to win her gi title earlier this year, so
yeah,
she's super dangerous.
Watched all these matches, so I was like, okay.
You watch everything from anyone you're going to compete against?
It depends on the tournament. Sometimes I have just Elliot watch it it just depends. Sometimes I'm like, I know enough about the girl that I can give my input, and other times I don't, and then we kind of watch together, or we watch separate, and then we kind of put ideas together. He usually will have the strategy for me, and then I give, he takes my opinion into consideration. But yeah, she entangles me into 50-50, which I knew. I was like, okay, like this is prime IBJJF territory. I felt very comfortable not getting finished here. I was like, I will not get finished. I was just being mindful of not getting advantages racked up on me, because 2 minutes was a long enough time to rack up 3 advantages in a position where you can just keep spamming the leg locks, especially with someone that's really trying not to get swept. And then here, last few seconds, I just knew, don't get your secondary leg trapped, because then, she can rock your base. And then here, be very mindful of the knee bar. Just always be ready to turn your knee. And also, we're very close to out of bounds. So for people that don't know, in IBJJF, if there's a submission on and you roll out of bounds, they give you 2. So that's why early on I had 2, and I don't really know why they took it away. But here I was like, okay, I don't have the option to roll out of bounds. Or if I do, I have to be very smart with it. And then just wrote out the time. And there it is, the mat slap incoming.
There it is. This one, the top down mat slap.
I did yell on that one as well, because guys, just heads up. Like I don't mean this in like a cocky way. It's just winning a Nogi Pans title. Like there aren't a lot of those at adult black belt. So that's a big deal, and it was a big deal to me, and it was a big month. So there was a lot of reasons that this title meant a lot. It's like first major at black belt, finished out, a perfect month of competing. Took a risk after UFC, and kind of went double or nothing in a way, and
it paid off.
It paid off, and clearly things are looking really good. So I was very excited after this for many reasons. So celebrated accordingly.
Nice. Let's go. Yeah, you talked about how there's a video you clapping for yourself with the pans.
Yeah, on the podium. Yeah.
Listen, you got to be your own biggest supporter, because if
right.
you're not going to, who will? That's why I make jokes all the time, and I laugh at them too, because they're funny. And people are like, that wasn't funny. And I'm like, well, I'm laughing, so it must be pretty funny.
No, I mean, aside from the people in my corner that have known me for forever, as well as, like my team back home in Denver, my team at Kingsway, like everyone has always been very supportive. But I've trained with a lot of very high level female athletes in the last couple of months. And man, just being around them and the way they talk to themselves, about themselves, the way they talk to each other, the way they talk to me and about me, and the way they called me out whenever I would try to downplay myself, which I was notorious for up until very recently. It really changed everything for me. Like they're like, dude, like you like, because I'd like preface an opinion on something with like, guys, like I'm not on your level, but la 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 la. And they're like, dude. Like no one said this to me, but the TLDR would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like what, how are you going to talk to yourself like that? Like
you don't really need to caveat yourself.
Right. Like
before you say
you need to back yourself up. Like why, who else is going to believe in you if you're talking about yourself like this? Like how are you gonna win pans if you're out here like I'm like all right, like like I can make the semis, but after that it's kind of tough. Like no, like
medal, that's cool.
Yeah, like
no big deal.
Nope.
Yeah.
Winning this, like no, it definitely is a mindset, and like also obviously like you have to have the skill to back it up. I've gotten so much better in the last few years, and in the last year of training, like actually being able to train here, like night and day. But yeah, there's that mental component where like I could have shown up and just I don't know, like in the semifinals just been like, oh well, I can't engage, and then just kind of get ridden out and eliminated because off of advantages, and just not kind of sent it. But I was like, nah, dude, like I'm winning this. Like you don't want to engage, like I'll force it. Tinara, like that's a few months ago I would have been so intimidated by this match, right? Like we're talking about someone that made like huge waves in the colored belts. Beatrice too in the semis. Like they were like I think they both won brown belt worlds. Like that would have made me crumble in the past. But it's just like, yeah, like cool. Like literally, like I respect you so much, but I'm like pretty good too.
Definitely. And I think, your results and everything now are showing it as well, backing it up. But we're kind of up on time here, Anna. But, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. It was great having you. Great to learn more about your background, kind of how you think about jiu-jitsu and stuff. I know you mentioned the seminars and everything. I think you would be an incredible instructor. I think a lot of people could learn a lot of stuff from you. You clearly know a lot, pay a lot of attention to details. But thank you so much for coming on. Everybody make sure to give Anna or Anna a follow, show her some love, and we'll see everybody in the next episode.
Thank you guys.